Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kenna and I'm a beautiful mom of three sharing my motherhood journey with you, and today I am here with
Hi, my name is Cynthia.
Cynthia like this.
I'm a mom of three, and I've come to give you tidbits about motherhood.
Okay guys, it's back to school season. We're either looking for school for our kids, going to pay school fees. Like, this is the season, and I thought it's the best time for us to talk about picking the right school for your child. Okay, we're just going to talk about it, what we looked at while picking schools for our kids, just giving tips. The first thing I would say when it comes to picking a school, first of all, I should tell you people the classes of my kids so that you should understand. So I'm proud to say I don't have any nursery school child anymore. Oh my god, Myra is going to class 1. Yes, so I'm presently a primary mother. Myra is going to class 1, Monique is going to class 3, and Kaden is going to class 5. All my kids are presently in primary school, and they've been going to the same school from nursery 1 till now. And I decided to go with a bilingual school simply because Cameroon is bilingual basically, and I wanted them to have a base in French, and I feel like it was a good choice because they understand French very well. My nanny now is a francophone. They can speak to her very well. She understands. It's not a struggle. There are times that when they meet francophones, they speak only French with them, and I'm like, oh, I'm so proud, so proud. And they laugh at my French as well.
Parle à la main.
Yeah. They laugh at my French a lot, like, mommy, you don't even know French. But I feel like that was what I was looking at since I was sending them to school when they were really young. I was not looking at, oh, let's look at their interest and all that. No, at that point they really had not developed in a way that I could start looking at things like that. But I would generally say you should look, if you see your child has a particular interest or a particular strength, you can look at that and then you pick what school, or if there's a particular thing that you want your child to learn, you want to now look for a school that offers that for you.
Speaking of the bilingual aspect, I think that we had kind of disagreements.
I always have people disagree with me when it comes to that.
No, I don't even mean like you and I mean like me and my husband.
Okay.
And to an extent my mom, because when we were in China we sent the kids over to be with my mom, and we gave her like 70% leverage to choose what school she'll put the kids in because she's on ground and she can better assess the situation. And the two choices that she had in mind were, she didn't want the bilingual aspect of it, she just wanted Anglo-Saxon, and we just agreed with her. But by the time we were back home, we assessed things and then we're advised by one or two people that you don't pay any more fee. Doesn't hurt for the child.
The only difference is that you buy more bilingual.
Yes, but that's buy more books and you do homework twice probably.
Exactly.
You don't pay any more fee, and then it doesn't hurt for a child to learn French and while he's perfecting his English. At first I was like, I don't know how to cope because my children just left Chinese,
I know,
to enter English, so they are still doing she or she je suis, and I don't know how they were going to cope, but we just decided to give it a try. In my mind, I just put it that Henry, if I sorti 21e sur 21, for there, I just tried to convince myself that okay, it's good. Even if he's last in his class, at least he's learning something. I just tried to convince myself.
I feel this bilingual thing, Anglophones get emotional about it. I feel that's just it. They get emotional about it, considering the state of our country now, the Anglophone crisis and all that. I feel it's always more of an emotional thing. Like, why should they learn the French? But I don't see it like that. I'm looking at it like my child is going to know 2 languages. If my child goes out of the country, automatically they already know 2 languages before they want to start learning something else. So that's how I look at it. But many people who speak to me always come from the why should they learn that French? That French even, like,
I get it.
Yeah.
They're already stereotyped in the idea of being bilingual.
Yes, they just feel like.
But I would say that we didn't do that for my oldest, who is now going to Form 1, but we did it for Henry, and he's catching up. He likes it, even though sometimes it's difficult, but he catches up, and I think it's a good idea after all.
Yeah, for my kid, I can't really talk about Myra because it's still nursery. It was still nursery school, but Monique does really well in French. Kaden struggled with it, and that's why when they get to class 5, you pick English and French, you pick the 2. He cannot wait. He's just like, I'm done French, bye. But I'm happy he already has the base. He knows the base in French. You talked about your daughter going to Form 1. How is
Yeah.
it? I wanted us to concentrate more on picking like secondary school for your
Secondary
child. What did you look at? How did you pick? And boarding school, no boarding school.
Sincerely speaking, my daughter, you see, she had a base from international school out of Cameroon, and coming back, since from when she came back here, she's always like, tomorrow I'm leaving. So she knows that even though she's been here for almost 3 years,
Yeah.
she still says, tomorrow I'm leaving. So if we're putting her in any school, she still thinks that, Mama, they don't do like they do here. But every day we have to choose for them. The primary school where she went, very good. I have no complaints. They did a great job. Now picking where she will go in from 1. Me, boarding school, I went to boarding school for 7 years. It's a no for me. I suffered in that place.
I hate boarding school too. When I say it, people are like, you don't know the life.
People are like, now because you be strong head, I'm like, I'm not about to argue with you. It's
I
not as
know.
if you come and give me 10,000 and pay her fees or buy her books. I'm not about, let it be because I'm strong. But me, I know what I went through in G5, Memo Dormitory, PSS Market. I know that see some people when I see on the street today, I cringe because of what they did to me. Yes, so it's true that sometimes you say that those things make the children strong, but
I don't agree.
ça ne vaut pas la peine. Vraiment. It is not worth the stress, it's not worth the struggle. Go to school and come back, let me be seeing you.
What I always argue when it comes to that thing that people say boarding school, I feel like boarding school softens people. It doesn't give you willpower. For me, I went to both, by the way. I was from 1 to Form 5 in a lycée, and then I left from there and I went to Baptist Boya, Lower Sit.
Where they show you pepper.
They showed me pepper. Pepper, black and blue. So because of my experience, I hated boarding school. There's a lot of horrible ideas. There's a lot of comparison, and you don't have the self-discipline of, no, I'm going to study now. The school is the one that tells you, okay, you wake up at 5, okay, you eat now, okay. So I feel like they make things really easy for you. But in a day school, sorry, you are the one who knows when you're supposed to read. My parents were not there to be chasing me up and down every day. Go and study, you have exams. You have to get up, wake yourself up from that bed and go to school. So for me, I feel like that makes you stronger and gives you the willpower. That's why I always say, when I see people who have gone to boarding schools, when they come to the university, oh my God, sometimes they just go crazy because they're like, finally free. Yes. So that is my argument. I don't know what you think.
And looking at my daughter, she has a big body, but you would think that she's a big girl, but she's just a baby. And you might want to say, I want to keep cocooning her until, why will I let her be a woman? But I'm looking at that girl. Let her just be.
You train her in your house.
Yes, I will train her because I cannot just imagine her now going to be somewhere. And then it's true that I went to boarding school in Form 1. I know all the things I went through, but I'm not ready for her to go through that. For me, it's not worth it. And thankfully, my husband is on the same page, and she'll go to a day school. We'll be seeing each other every day, and then we'll be. Well, a teenager is a very fragile person. It's from there that people pick up at teenagehood. It's from there that children pick up certain behaviors or certain characteristics that form their adulthood or their lifestyle.
Exactly.
So if you are not there to parent the child,
how much time will you have with the child when the child is in boarding school?
Yep. I don't
2
know
weeks, 2
if
weeks, 3
it
months.
is the boarding master or whoever that will parent the child. It is in school that I learned that, okay, I'm having periods. It's in school that I learned a whole lot of things, and then we'll just come back, our uptight, emotionally absent fathers and our very busy mothers who had several kids to take care of, who not really do the in-depth job.
Yeah.
So we're just going by chance, and let the Holy Spirit help us one day at a time. But this time around, as you see your child growing, you're able to tell them this or that and that. And before we move further, I think one of the reasons why parents used to send their children to boarding school, especially my mom, I'll speak for my mom, I don't know if it's the same for other people, is that they were kind of busy with some projects, or maybe they were going through some difficult period of their lives, and they didn't want to be looking at that child every day. And then they're reminded of the fact that, okay, I'm responsible for this child, and probably I'm still owing somebody 6 million. Let me just let you go to school, go and be in school, and then I know that you're fine there. Let me face life the way it is. When it's time for holiday, you come and then I'll see you. I was asking one man, you have just one boy and you send him off to boarding school. When do you guys have time to really bond? He said his work is really busy. He didn't have time to be dropping off his kid at work every morning and picking him, getting to bother about who is there at 4 p.m. when the child is back. So he just decided to send the child to boarding school, and then you pacify your conscience with the fact that the child is in school. How does that
know? But the thing is, I feel like people have their different reasons for sending. Someone like my husband, he just feels like boarding schools they teach better. For that, I would say to an extent that when some of us went to boarding schools, they were mostly public schools, government schools, and government, the teaching that they give you in government schools cannot be compared to the one that they give you in a boarding school for sure. So someone like my husband, he's just telling me that, Kenna, don't even think about it. Boarding school, all my children. So people will send their children to, I know. But when we say class 5, and my husband is like, you should write in class 5. I'm like, no, I'm
like my daughter.
You want to take my 10-year-old, because if he does that, he'll be 10 years next year, and he'll be going to. I'm like, no, it's not happening. No, I've been talking to my husband. I beg, leave Bobo to relax. I don't even want to think about it. Like, no, it's not going to work for me. Some people decide to send their children to boarding schools because they're looking at it like it's prestigious. People see that I have money if I send my kids to this school and that school and that school. But to me, no, I'm sure from the way I speak, you understand that for me, I don't think boarding school is the best choice. And but everybody has their preferences, so that is it. So you definitely sent her to a day school, right?
Going to day school.
So what did you look at before picking this?
Okay. It's a sorry thing to say that the education system in Cameroon is already as it is. If you have to get a standard school, I don't want to call names of schools, but it is super expensive. I don't know if I'm ready for that right now. If I have my
standard like day school.
No, I mean like good education. Good education.
It's in the millions.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good education. It's only the transportation alone because most of them are in town.
Most of them, but I heard there's one somewhere in Atianto.
ACE.
I heard the school fees. I was like, okay, Baba, you go to boarding school, it's okay.
I know, right? I think it's 1 year. Yeah. If there's a good school where you know that okay, this education is standard, it is expensive, and if you're ready to invest, go for it. But for us right now, we're not ready to make that kind of investment. But if I had my way, I would. That has already brought me short. It has already brought down the expectation. My expectations low. If I was at 7, maybe I'd say, oh, just do 5. So I just brought it down to bare minimum, if I would put it that way. So for me, I just looked at funny enough, I look at the infrastructure. Yes, people are having some.
No, but it's true, it matters. I'm laughing, but it actually does matter.
Yeah, people are having some score classrooms with tight windows, like a prison cell.
The children are tight inside.
Yes, they sit on a bench. And like, I wouldn't. I truly wouldn't. I looked at that. Then I looked at their results over the years, and I also looked at the number in the classroom. For no reason will I send my child, God help me by the grace of God, to a public school, because there were thousands on thousands.
I know classes are full right now in lycée, like this lycée around us. They do in different periods. Morning periods, because they're actually tight.
Yes.
Talking about infrastructure, there's some people who attacked me when I picked my kids' school. Like, oh, she took that school just because the school has an AC. Because when you're passing, you see ACs. I'm like, okay, that's one of the reasons why I picked it. But it's not like it wasn't the main reason why I picked the school. But
I would do same.
Douala is hot, please. And if I'm paying that kind of school fees that I'm paying in that school, obviously I should check if they have an AC.
I wish that where my kids were going to also have an AC, because that school is not cheap.
I know.
These people should put AC.
But do they have a fan in the class?
You can only use a fan because papers will be flying.
I know.
Yes. You can only use an AC. And I think
the AC is not like they use it all the time.
Yes, but
at least the AC is there. They'll put it on for some time. It gets cold and then
at least
put it off.
For the child to even realize that.
Yeah, I feel like infrastructure is something important that they look at. For me as well, I looked at like you're talking about the fees. I definitely look at the fees. Like, you also have to send a child to a school where you know you can afford.
Yep.
And you're not just looking at sending one child to this school. You're sending and you're thinking, will I be able to maintain for all my other children, or for each child am I going to be having a different plan and all that? That's something that we definitely looked at before picking a school, because we looked at my husband's salary and we're like, okay, if Monique has to come and join Amara, will we be able to continue with the school fees, or it's going to be another problem? We'll have to drop down and go to something else.
And thankfully the fee, it's a load, but once you have paid it off, then it's done for the year. That's the nice thing about it.
Only the next year.
But I would say you also would not want to go put your children in. Once you hear the school fees, you can imagine the kind of education that is there. You would want to find middle ground. At least it should not be too clandestine. No, not clandestine. It should not. Hope you understand. It should not just be any kind of school, but also weigh your pockets. Paying school fees for children is a sacrificial thing. In fact, it's one of the big expenditures that you make in a year. So once you have done that, then you are sure that okay, this burden has been lifted off my head, and now you're sure that your kids have good education, which you can always thank yourself for, or they can always thank you for when they are men and women in the future.
Yeah, I also try to look at qualification of the teachers, because guys, I have been a French teacher in a school before.
Hey,
Why are you shouting? So I don't know French. I've been a French teacher. Yes, I was teaching for one, the easy French, but I was a French and English teacher. I don't have any qualification as a teacher, and that, so you can understand. Just since I was a teacher, I decided that no, if somebody could leave me, Kenna, I was studying the French and teaching the children. So if somebody could hire me as a teacher just because I told them, oh, I studied journalism and mass communication and I talk well, and yes, I can teach the French or English, and they just took me, I always try to find out more about the children's, the teachers' qualifications, because these days a lot of us are frustrated out there. So some people are just like, oh, let me go and apply. This school is looking for teachers. Let me just go and apply. So I try to do research to see that the teachers in the school are actually qualified teachers. They have actually gone to either the teachers training college or the ENS or something. They have gone to teachers training school, not just picked anybody from the road and then they're like, okay, no, come on, go and teach.
While that's a valid point, I would say some people who have been teaching for years, they have gained experience even without that paper of grade 1 teacher.
No, at least for that one, they'll tell you that even if they don't have this qualification, this person has been teaching, at least you know that person has experience. Okay. Not just somebody that's probably been there for like 1 or 2 years and then no meal.
I know, right? Me, I'm always keen. You see, I look at the WhatsApp status of my kids' teachers. You write one kind of bazaar English.
My God.
I am thinking of English. I cringe inside.
I know.
Once again, and you're putting ONES. Once again. Thank you once again. I look at it very close. I'm like, if this kind of person is teaching especially my daughter who is so big on speaking right, if this kind of person is teaching my daughter or my son, then yet I don't know how to attack you about that because it will be rude.
I know.
Those are things that I look at.
So for me, when it comes to doing research on something like this, I don't ask the teachers, or I ask people who have children there, or I ask people who may know somebody. Yes, because generally if you ask like the headmaster or the head teacher, he's obviously going to
cover up for their staff.
So that you come to the school.
Sanitation, the toilets. Me, I can withdraw my child from a school because of the toilet. Because it's not only you alone that is doing that good job.
I know.
It's not only you alone that has that sweet infrastructure. There are other schools that have as good infrastructure as yours. So looking at the toilets, looking at the environment, looking at the lighting of the classroom. Now, especially the toilets. I always ask my kids, was there tissue in your bathroom? Is it clean? Do they clean it?
I know.
And when I visit, I will make as if I want to go pee, so that I will check out the toilet.
The funniest thing is there are some parents who just look at that infrastructure and then they go straight and pay the fee. So I went and I visited everywhere. They showed me, oh, we have a library. Go and show me. We have the toilet. This is the way I visited. I actually went to all the classes, looked at it to have an idea. There are some people who really don't, but I was like, especially for my first boy, my only child at that point. Not the only, was like my
only school
going child. I was like, no, I want the best. I was looking at how the sanitation, I looked at the playground, the nature of the playground. Because a child too can go and play somewhere and get wounded. There are some playgrounds that are not really safe. I looked at all of those things.
Safety, the environment, the total environment.
Because I did not want a situation where they're going to go and put my child and then tomorrow he's sick and all that.
I believe that most parents, let's not even talk about fathers, because what they do is they drop off at the gate.
I know.
You're forgetting your bag. Open the car, take it.
They don't.
They are running off to work. It's okay, we don't blame it that much. But now the mothers, I think that both parents, but now especially the mothers, there's because of our busy nature, multiple kids, I've not submitted my work project and all of that. We just run off. Okay, I like with that. I can think that okay, they can be giving them food, right? Okay, fine, you're gone. But there's much more to do, as Ken has just said. Check each and every item to be sure that this place where your children are spending more than half of the day is a convenient environment. You should not be saying A at home and then they are doing B at school.
Exactly. And there was this thing that happened to Monique in school. the thing, it shook me. So Monique went to school, right? It's like her classmates, there are certain parents that give their kids money to go to school. Or I don't know what is that her classmate, either the child took the money from her mother's back, or the mother used to give the child money. And thank God that it's the school that my kids are in. They really pay attention. Because if it was somewhere else, it would have just passed. Monique took 10,000 francs from my back and went with it to school. So
Because she saw her friend with
yes, because her friend, they bring money, they go to the canteen, they buy things. Because there are certain parents that will give money to their children to go to the canteen.
So she doesn't even know the worth of 10,000.
She doesn't even know. She just saw my 10,000. I did not even notice that the money was not there. She took my 10,000, went to the canteen, and the lady in the canteen was like, no, there's no parent that can give their child more than 500 to come to school. So she was like, no, she's not going to. Yes, they went to the secretary. The secretary called me, Madam, come to school. Only for me to go. And they were like, Madam, did you give Monique 10,000? Because they have asked Monique. Monique says her mother gave her 10,000. I was like, no. So I'm like, thank God that. Because if it was in another school, the person in the canteen might just take the money, give the child something, and then keep the money to themselves. So I was like, okay, things like that are really important. Because imagine, and that we had a whole meeting about that. And we're like, from now on in that school, you don't really give money to your children, except it's the secondary school. You make something, or you pay a fee in the canteen. Yes, and that's how children pick bad habits. That thing, it scared me. I was just like, oh my God, not my baby, not me. Right. It was a horrible experience. Yeah. So that, and then another thing that I feel is really important is security, general security. Who can just walk into the school. My kids' school, they have their badges, even though sometimes they used to ignore those badges. But I told them, I told my kids' teachers, nobody comes to take my child. If you see anybody strange, especially me who changes nannies, like I'm changing my pants, please, each time I change my nanny, I go there with the new nanny and I tell them, if the other one comes, please don't let them in. Don't let anybody take my child. Even when the new nanny comes, I tell them to let the nanny take the child only if the nanny is holding the bath for at least 1 month before you can leave. But I feel the security in the school, I can say it's overall, it's not bad. Because like when people are dropping off their kids in the morning, there are always teachers in front of the school to receive them, so that we don't have stories that touch. So there are always people like those parents, like you were saying, some parents just stand at the gate and drop their kids. So the teacher is there to help open the door. Their teachers, they take like turns to do that. So generally, I feel like it's secure. I can remember going once with one of my cousins to school. He was parking the car, so I entered, and then my cousin, he has this beard. He was just looking like one weird man. So the security is like, no, you cannot go in. I was like, no, he's my brother, because I passed and I was going there. He was coming behind. The security was like, no, we don't know you here. Who are you coming to? He was like, no, I'm going with my sister. Before they let me. So just things like that made me feel like at least I know that my kids are secure, even to cross the road, since it's on where there's a pavement, right? Cars always pass there fast. The security is always there to help kids to cross if they're alone and things like that. So those are the things that I look at.
And the last thing that I would like to throw in is proximity. How close is the school to your home? It's true that the ones that may be closer, like when my kids were in Mabanda with my mom, I looked around and I did not see any credible school in Mabanda where they could be going. So my mom opted for the two options that she mentioned to us, and that would mean that they commute to school and back, which is okay. But if you are, I see some parents who live from what's Beko that side, after,
as if you are going to Boya,
after Carrefour Music,
Jesus,
and they take the children because probably they bought the land there and then they build a house there, and then probably the children started schooling in this particular school when they were this way, and then they moved over to that side and they like this school. They can't part ways with this school, and then they have to drive all the way. Children wake up like 5:30 because they have to wait for the bus.
That's the thing. Oh my God, that school bus, that thing, it pains my heart. It pains my heart.
Children wake up 5:30 because probably the parents too are on a different trajectory to work, and then they have to wait for the school bus. You see children always cranky, and then they arrive home like 4 p.m. 4 p.m. is even better, like 5 p.m. with their heavy bags because they have to wait and go all the way to Bomono. The name
that's where a lot of people are building now. Yes, they are opening schools there.
Yes, that's the thing. They're opening schools there, but parents think that school is not good enough.
I know this one. I know
is the flag bearer of primary schools in Douala. So I would not want to send my child to this grano schools. When they ask my child, which school do you go? I don't want to call a name before that is the name of a school. It's something nursery and primary school. Let's say John the Baptist nursery and primary school. Be like, where is that one? Where is that school?
I know.
You want when your children call the name of a school, you be like, I know that school. I know that school. So factor in quality education with proximity. You don't want to put your children on the road every day, going long distances because of quality education.
I have my friend whose children were going to the school that her children, I don't want to advertise anybody's school, the
Yes.
school that her children are going to, and she moved to Bonamufadi. The children were still coming to the school. My God. She was always tired. Every morning she would drive and come, and then her life was in Bonaberry, so she would struggle to do things in Bonaberry. She doesn't want to go back. I'm just like, how can you be living like this with all the schools in Bonaberry? She struggled until all her children are finally finished.
Oh,
now they are going to secondary school. I'm like,
sometimes look for the next best option around you or not too far.
I know, but at least it should be a good school. Like,
that's what I said, next best
my house,
option.
like just behind my house, and that school opened when Kaden was going to nursery too. And a lot of people were like, just send him. I'm like, no. That school, guys, I'm sure I've complained about it in my vlogs. If you hear the songs that they sing there, the way that I'm just like, definitely not for me. My children are not going to that
Obviously
school.
not.
Like, no.
If you even go to tell the school fees is 40,000.
My God, I'm like, no, my children are not going there. My husband was like, I'm not even considering it. Anybody who complains that I've sent our children to somewhere that is 10 minutes away when we have a 1 minute away school behind the house, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Definitely not. Let's talk more in the comment section. Are we being overly dramatic with some of our points? What
Someone will say uniform.
I know. To be honest, for me, that's something I used to look at. I'm like, what is that? You see a child wearing pink and red. I'm like,
Red
what
and
is that? No, So yeah, do you feel like we're being dramatic with the things we look at? Funny enough, we never talk about curriculum. Some people just be like, oh my God, you people. No, we just omitted it.
No,
not like it's really important. Let's talk about it.
You can brush on it now.
Yeah.
The curriculum is super important. What are the things that they teach the children, and look at it every day. And this will also mean that you check their books when they come back, because they can be saying they do this and then they don't do it. What are the after school activities? What do they do? What are the extra things that they incorporate into their activities?
Extracurriculars.
Yes,
because my kids' school, imagine with all the bilingual, all those books, I have like a pile of books like this. They still look brand new. They did not even use it. They did not even touch it, and it happened last year as well. So we had like a meeting. We were like, it cannot work. Do you know how we stress to buy this?
I'm telling you,
for you not to even use it once, and the school, they are very strict. They'll tell you, if you don't buy all of these books, they will harass you, send you messages only for you to buy those books. So you want to also look at that, and you want to see if they give homework, because in my kids' school, I'm like, you are stressing me out, because that homework is not only for you, it's for me as well. So you want to check. They try to ensure that the kids are always busy. They don't just keep your child there to just sit and be chilling. Yeah, guys, so these are basically our points. Let's talk more in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.